I grew up when I was in Little League, right? I was one of the first girls in Little League. My dad made me read this book about Lou Gehrig, which I love Lou Gehrig, the whole thing. New York Yankees, number four. I've been number four my whole life, but I'm a Red Sox fan, so I'm supposed to
Hmm.
hate the Yankees.
How about we just blow that up? You're not supposed to do
Later.
anything. It's
Nope.
man-made. The structures are man-made.
I don't hate the Packers.
Okay, I might.
Okay, that's fucked up.
The Hollow Buddy. And we all feel hollow sometimes.
Welcome to the Hollow Bunny Leadership Podcast. I am Kristen Ziman, and I am here with my bold and brilliant co-host, Sylvia Moyer. I know that wasn't very original. It wasn't very creative, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I failed. Did I fail you?
No, I thought it was descriptive. Well, really, what your alliterations do is they're a call to action. If I'm feeling I have to be bold. I have
And
to
brilliant.
be
You're already brilliant. You don't have to try being brilliant, but
brilliant, like shiny and, yeah. Okay, I'll take it. I'm going to be bold today because of you.
okay. All right, good. I wear my bright pink, so I'm feeling a little
Uh-huh.
bold today. And I've had my coffee, and we have our matching Boston hats.
How did
So
that
this is
happen?
good. Because we're just like, simpatico.
We
That's
are,
all.
and I'm traveling, so it's like, okay.
I know. I
Okay.
just got to see your
I
face
love it.
in person, which is wonderful. We were
Oh
speaking
my God.
together at the Santa Clara Sheriff's Department. Shout out to that amazing organization and Sheriff Johnson.
Yep.
Amazing, right? That was such
Shifting
a
culture.
yeah. That was such a great event for
It was a
International
great
Women's Day.
It was a great event, and you brought some real truth there. And so I was your opening act. I'm not sure if Theodore knows that, but I was your
Mm.
opening act. I kind of got him primed for the brilliance of you. I did a short little snippet. I'm more comfortable with 30 minutes. You're like an hour and a half kind of gal. I
Yeah.
just hit it and quit it, and you like staying in it. And I got to be literally and figuratively in your front row. And I got to tell you, the things that you brought to that event, the thinking, the inspiration, and seeing you in 3D, like in person, oh, filled my soul, filled my heart, filled my cup of inspiration.
You are so kind, buddy. But so do you think it's safe to say that you're my fluffer?
Oh,
Like
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you're my fluffer. You came out before me, but
Yeah.
okay. But let's really talk
Uh-huh.
about what you talked about, because that teed everything up. I mean, you talked about resilience. You have such a way about you on the stage. It's very natural. It really is. It's just such an ease. It's like there's no fourth wall between you and the audience, and I very much appreciate
Hmm.
that. The way that you talk right here is exactly how you talk on stage. It's so very conversational, and that is such an
Thanks.
asset. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Thanks for that. I did three different talks last
Hmm.
week. And here's what I realized. I don't love it. Like I don't look forward to it. So that's a
Hmm.
really interesting thing as a leader. I don't look forward to it. I'm not like, oh my God, this would be so great. I don't um, feel well, I'll just leave that there. But then
Okay.
I just deliver and just say, I'm just going to be me, given what I've experienced, what I've witnessed, and what I've learned, and what I've really read, and what's emerging in terms of trends. And I'm just going to offer some doses of truth. And so I'm just me. And
Yeah.
so it's a very interesting thing. Very, very
Yeah,
interesting.
but it's so true. And I've learned this about speaking, and the difference. I love it. I literally crave it. For me, it is
That's
standing.
crazy.
I know, and people say that to me, but there is not only is it an act of service where I'm chomping at the bit to tell people all of the things that I've learned and all of the things I failed at,
Yeah.
and but it is also it also for me scratches an itch of that energy and that performance, because I like that part about it too. And I didn't really put this together until Jake Ziman, my son, came to see me speak. And he said that it's like being on stage. He's an actor and he's a musical theater actor. And he said, I now see it from the perspective of a speaker. And he made me understand that standing on that stage and getting the energy, and you know what that feels like, to absorb the energy from the audience, for me, fills my fuel gauge. It just makes it go all the way to full, almost so that it explodes. And I literally crave that feeling. I love being on stage, and I just love the back and forth energy. So, but what you were saying is I stopped thinking about it as polished and performative. And now for me, it is just about connection. There's a lot of imperfect.
You could tell.
I still say a lot of ums. I still fumble over my words, but for me, it is, am I connecting with the audience, and not am I perfectly performing something that's polished? Because to me, that doesn't matter. I just want to connect.
Well, it shows, and I gave you some input on that. It really, really shows, and I'm so fascinated that you crave it. I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
I go right to duty, responsibility, giving back, preparing people, perhaps inspiring them, but I don't crave it. I'm like, okay, they asked me to do this. I have a responsibility and a duty to provide this to a group of people. That's fascinating. I do think, and I think you and I have touched on it before, that it shows your performance, your theater, your presence really got you to the stage, and now what's amplifying you in a totally different way is that connection. And I see you connecting with people and them connecting with you. It's really awesome to watch and to witness.
I appreciate that so much. And you and I both are students of this. Think about how many times we see people that are presenting, and they are so smart and they are so competent, but they cannot convey that message on stage. And so so there is most definitely a platform, for the thinkers and the thought leaders. Sometimes the stage is not the best vehicle for them to get their message out, because it's just not their comfort zone. And there's nothing wrong with that. For me, that's my comfort zone.
Yeah, it shows. It shows.
Yeah, and there's some people where it's like you just are like, no, just
no. I just made a book decision. I was going to buy a book by an author that I've read a lot of his stuff, and we saw him speak, and I'm like, no. But,
oh, yeah.
Interesting. I moved on.
So that's interesting, though, that because the book form is probably the strong, I would say that's probably the place where the thoughts are conveyed the best, right? So I don't know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, maybe.
I don't know. I made another choice, and I'm reading Atmosphere by she's got 3 names, Last of Reed. She wrote The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and now I'm reading Atmosphere. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's amazing so far. And The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is one of the best books. It's one of those books you're reading, you go, no, holy shit.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I, as we've talked about before, I have this stupid thing inside my head where I'm like, I can't read fiction because I'm not learning.
Whatever.
And it's so stupid. It's the stupidest thing ever. And I picked up The 7 Husbands. It was my daughter, I think, that told me to read it.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally, I read it in 24 hours. I could not put that book down. Not only is the message amazing, but the way that she writes, the prose, it is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to pick up that next book.
Oh my God. Is it Taylor Jenkins Reid? Okay. So hang on. I want to hear this other. The thing is, I was reading her author's notes, and she talked about her husband and how he read every draft, and he didn't question why she needed to talk about this love story. She also talked about her brother. And in essence, I want to write her a note and say, your brother was right. You are an amazing author. I'm in love with her. She is, she's magnificent. And you know what I did? I took a leap, and I'm like, I'm reading two novels. I'm not reading
at the same time.
Well, I am doing that, but I'm not reading like some of my nonfiction work. I'm just not doing it.
Okay.
I'm taking a break, just like I'm taking a break from the news.
This is how I know that a fiction book is remarkable, is when I start highlighting the shit out of it. And there was a line in The Seven Husbands
What?
of Evelyn Hugo, Taylor Jenkins Reid, that made me stop. And we talk about this a lot about asking for help, but it's this. You do not know how fast you have been running, how hard you have been working, how truly exhausted you are until someone stands behind you and says, it's okay. You can fall down now. I will catch you. And I remember stopping and pausing in that book. And I thought, how beautiful is that? And how true is that? And it's something that I always have to work on about letting people catch me. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know how we got here. Like all of our podcasts, I have no idea how we got here, but I'm glad we're here.
Oh my God, I am too. And it might be your pancreas yelling that to you.
Maybe.
Kristen
Just maybe.
Sylvia.
My
Wow,
pancreas has
you
been quiet.
highlighted Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yeah, and Atmosphere is amazing so far. It's a hardcover, and I bought it at Warwick's bookstore in La Jolla. I walk into Warwick's, I take a deep breath, and I just take in all those books. And every time I'm in La Jolla, I have to ship them home because I end up buying like 6 books, and who can travel with 6 books home? Okay.
You've just inspired me to read more fiction.
Oh my God.
Because why
You
do I
have to.
resist it? Why do I resist it?
Because
Oh
you're
my
smart
gosh.
as fuck and you want to make the world a better place. It's gross.
I love it so much. I love it. Also read The Correspondence. I need to find out who the author is, but it's called The Correspondence. And the whole book, it's fiction. The whole book are letters, hence The Correspondence, written by, I think she is 87. And it's her, it's all it is, are letters. And it is so funny. It is so snarky. It is so smart. It is a brilliant book. And I love that too. So The Correspondence. So there you go, bunnies.
Okay, so we need to talk. We need to get Taylor Jenkins Reid through our sponsors and get her on our podcast.
We really do. We
We
do.
tried
Oh my
Dolly
gosh.
Parton. That didn't go well.
No, we're still in talks with her people. Can I give you one more quote from Taylor Jenkins Reid that I saved?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
Are
yes,
you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I loved this one too. I highlighted this. People think intimacy is about sex, but intimacy is about truth. When you realize you can tell someone your truth, when you can show yourself to them, when you stand in front of them bare and their response is, "You're safe with me." That's intimacy. Taylor Jenkins Reid. See the stuff I highlight? You can tell where my head is, all the things that I fight, right? So those are my highlights.
Wait. Okay, you need to send that to me because you
Doing it
need
now.
to send that to me.
Is that beautiful? It's so
Yes.
beautiful.
And I loved that book so much. So my friend Pam, who's one of the most voracious readers ever, I love her. She's smart and talented and really just an amazing human, said, you've got to read this book. And I'm like, God, I've seen it, but I don't know. But when Pam says, literally, like out loud, was like, oh my God.
Okay.
And Pam is such a bright mind that some of her stuff, I have to dumb it down for me. But holy cow, that book is...
Hear me out. The Hollow Bunny Book Club. I mean, maybe Pam gives the recommendations, and maybe we just get some of our bunnies, our followers, and maybe we just do book clubs and take suggestions. And then maybe you and I talk about them, and I highlight and show you the innermost workings of my soul.
Oh gosh, that's a delicious little invitation. Heck yeah.
Or repulsive. Well, no. I don't know how we're going to get back on track to what we're going to talk about today. Because
you're going to launch the Hollow Bunny, because this is all, you haven't even launched yet, have you?
I did. I called you bold and brilliant, Sylvia.
Oh, shitballs. Balls. You did. Okay.
Okay. But let's just go right into it, because you know what? Our listeners have come to know that some things just aren't seamless for us. Some things are this is a dumpster fire sometimes. And today it's one of those. We're all over the place, but it's not a bad thing. But today we're talking about one of the most powerful leadership roles in any organization, but it's one of the least glamorous.
Yep.
Middle managers.
Yeah. Middle managers, leveraging the power of the middle manager. And Gallup State of the Global Workplace report that came out in 2025 reports that middle managers really influence 70% of employee engagement.
I believe it.
70%
I
of
believe it.
employee engagement, yet their engagement is decreasing. What do you think
Mm.
about that? What does that signal?
Well, first of all, does that 70% number shock you? Because I think that we all feel as a person who has been a middle manager, the enormous challenge of being that middle manager, because it's where culture either comes alive or it dies quietly. And we often look to the person who is at the top of the org chart for the all powerful. And yet when you really break apart an organization, it is genuinely your team leads, your supervisors, your project managers, your lieutenants, your sergeants. They're not the boss, but they are the front line. And I think that most people would be surprised at that 70% number, just hearing it. But then when they think about it, it makes perfect sense.
Oh, it totally makes perfect sense. And I think there's two kind of lanes to travel. One is 70% of employee engagement lives there, because I think the people, well, we need to pick that apart. And then the other lane is the middle manager's engagement is falling. So what do they need to do? You and I have been middle managers. The hardest, worst job, for us in policing, it's typically a lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that that was the hardest transition for me, because I went from sergeant, where I was supervising people, one small team, to supervising a unit. And what I found was, and see how this lands with you, is that I didn't get to deal with problems anymore. I had to deal with the
Mm.
dilemmas. I maybe had like 10% problems, but 90% dilemmas. Where as a sergeant, it was the inverse. So it was mostly problems. You can do this or that. A dilemma offers that there are many lanes you could travel, each with its own stakeholders. So dealing with dilemmas, I think, um, is one of those things that is really crunchy and hard. But I do think there's some lane I want to travel, really strongly, and that is how the middle manager stays engaged. And there's some
I didn't
offerings
get
in
that.
that, right?
Could you try again?
Oh, Siri
Is
thinks I'm talking to her.
Siri needs to shut it.
Mind,
Uh,
mind your own business.
Siri needs to see herself out of this conversation. Okay,
Yes.
so let's break it down. Like, I think before we can really understand why middle managers are having the biggest disconnect right now, is I think that we need to maybe find the cause. And we can only do that by really translating what middle managers do. I mean, think
Okay.
about, in an organization, senior leaders set the direction, the mission, the vision, the policy, the direction. And yet the frontline employees do the work. So that leaves then the middle managers to translate that vision into reality. Basically, they are the ones responsible for getting work done through others. They are the connective tissue of the organization. And it's so interesting because I actually think of middle managers as the gatekeeper. They determine whether the leadership ideas get implemented or quietly ignored. Think about that. How many times have you stood as a frontline? Take yourself back to frontline. I would have a sergeant and a lieutenant standing before me in roll call going, they look around and they're like, this came from the top. This is bullshit. But I got to tell you,
Unacceptable.
oh, absolutely unacceptable. Literally
Unacceptable.
a defiance of leadership. So, but they shape whether employees feel supported or frustrated. They decide what actually sticks. And so
Yep.
it is so powerful, but that's probably why it's so hard.
Right. And so, taking the organizational perspective, how does the organization and those leaders above that middle manager keep the middle manager engaged? Because they are so influential, just as you described. How do they do it? And one of the things is, I really think, elevate their voice. So, expand their strategic responsibilities, empower decision making, their high value work, give them a seat at the table. Because if they're not at the table, they're on the menu, right? So give them a seat at the
Mm-hmm.
table, and then elevate their voice and their contribution.
Yeah.
So they're not just performing work like tasks, but they can stay engaged and do the meaningful work.
So I think just in the example that I gave that we have been a part of, where you had a middle manager that kind of shit on the leader's ideas or policies or implementation. So there's, I think the onus falls on two people there. One, the leader. We cannot absolve the leader of the leader being the individual that says, "Hey guys, I want to push this down." In a many multi-layered organization, you have to push that down to our subordinate leaders. We'll call them the middle management, but we have to make sure, and this kind of goes back to the coconut milk idea, is that we have to make sure that when we have the recipe in our head, that this coconut cake that we're building, here are the ingredients. And so we have to make sure that people understand, but also we tend to put the onus on that leader all the time of like, well, they didn't give a clear vision or mission. So I have no idea what I'm supposed to tell my people. How am I supposed to get them to do this thing when I don't even know why? So then the middle manager has to use their voice. And this is where culture comes in. And they have to say, "Hey, leader, ma'am, sir, could you please explain to me the why behind this vision or mission? Because I'm the one that has to sell it to the people. Because if middle managers don't, if they resist change, if they slow roll initiatives, or if they quietly undermine ideas, it's because they're either exhausted and skeptical, or they don't understand the mission to convey it clearly. Yes or no?"
I guess some of me is like, just freaking do it and sell it like you came up with it. But the other kind of human insertion here is to give them context. I think that is building a support system and building real-time guidance for a manager, middle manager, that's critical. And so giving them context and helping them understand gives them a stable platform on which to then lead folks and to be the interpreter of.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So here's the way I see it. If the middle manager doesn't believe the mission dies on the vine. And I don't think they can fake it. So I understand what you're saying. Just fucking do it. Like just fly the flag. But I think leaders do a really bad job. I think they're really good at notification and not communication. So effective immediately, starting tomorrow, here's the directive, here's the new policy, and middle managers get this and they stand in front of our people and they genuinely have no idea where it came from. I don't know how you fake that. So I think that when there is no buy. Now, I think there's two different tracks here. One is the middle manager who genuinely is like, I don't know how to sell this because I don't understand it. But then there's the other one who does know and just purposely sabotages that middle manager that's maybe a malcontent, and they have the power to stand in front of people and derail something. Those are two different things. The latter needs to be dealt with swiftly by a leader, and they need to go.
So there's also this middle ground where the middle manager may not understand the context. They're not trying to sabotage. They don't understand it in full, but they're willing to say, I trust and believe in those folks that have sent this down, that they are tactically sound, technically proficient, they are value-based, they're human-based, they're going to operate within policy, and they've given us a mission. And you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it, not because I hate the person in front of me, but because I love those behind me. And we all have a duty and responsibility. I don't think it's as binary as you said.
I think that is so beautiful that you should just trust your leadership and that they're making all the right calls. And I think that is beautiful. And how many, oh my God, how many chiefs have you worked for where they are evil and conniving and they are horrible, and you have to choke on this shit sandwich and you have to sell this shit sandwich to someone else and so I think that is beautiful in a utopia that you just trust your leaders, but we don't always trust our leaders.
You know what? Okay, we don't, but a lot of people work for you and you are
Yeah.
values based, and you have sound character, and you're principled. So why are you hating so much? I mean, the
Well,
assholes are a one off. The evildoers those are few and far between. There are more
yeah.
solid bunnies than hollow bunnies. What's happening right now? You're in Naples, the place of sunshine and optimism. Ew.
It is sunshine and rainbows here, but I have worked for absolutely horrible people. Wait, okay, so this is interesting because we have been on the receiving end of bad middle managers, bad
Yes.
leadership, and here
Yes.
is why. Here is why. Here's what I vowed. I vowed because I have suffered at the hands of people who didn't explain a directive or who sabotaged a directive. I said to myself, if I ever get to sit in that chair, I
Yep.
will make sure that people throw spears at me. And that if I have this idea or this mission or this vision, and I say, what am I missing? What are my blind spots? Throw spears at me. I expect that middle management to come to me and say, this makes no sense to me. Explain this to me, sell it to me so I can sell it to everyone else. But that's because I've been on the receiving end of people who absolutely would not take any input whatsoever. And I vowed never to do that. So I love that you're saying it's about values, and that's great. I would love to believe that it is. But honestly, it was just about, I will never be that kind of douchebag. It's not,
Is that
I'm not as
self-enlightenment?
virtuous.
Is that enlightenment? I don't know. Are you
I
using
don't
your
know.
tormentors as fuel?
I love that
A
you're
lot of
thinking
us
it
are.
is virtuous, but it was actually like, I will never be evil like this, and I will invite dissent. So
Yeah.
I like how you view it, but it was more of like, never will I ever do what they have done.
Look, I was motivated to take promotional exams because of that. It's like, I don't want to work for that guy. He absolutely sucks, and I'm going to do it differently. A lot of us got to where we are, and a lot of our listeners are in leadership positions and hold titles because of that very same motivation. I'm not arguing that. I guess what I'm saying is the middle manager is the person that now doesn't just face these simple issues. That's when you have the kick in the teeth that you are the person that needs to discern,
Mm.
critically think, and actually dive into identifying your own meaning. I'm going to pull apart something you said that I love. You created a culture and a climate, I would argue, that your middle manager would walk in and say, I don't understand this. Here's what you did, just highlighted, Kristen Ziman. They took the initiative on their own versus the leader having to go to them to then say, do you understand? I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to hug
Mm-hmm.
you. I'm going to hug it out. And I'm going to explain all that I was thinking, and we're going to turn on this. No, we don't have time for that. It's not important. You just highlighted the middle manager also has to take the initiative to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, they're responsible per, like, they influence employee engagement. So they have to understand, they need to understand their role. They need to take the initiative to then create some knowing around why things are occurring in order to then describe that for those sergeants and others, officers, or whatever, the people below them. That's what they have to do. They take the initiative to understand.
Totally. You have just described what we talked about in our last episode, learned helplessness. You can sit as a middle manager, and anytime you think the problem is up there, over there, down there, you are part of the problem. And so
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to say, not as kindly as Sylvia, is that if you are a middle manager, you have more influence than you think. And
Yes.
you can walk around going, this is bullshit. I don't know what the leader is trying to tell me or what I have to convey, but it's on me. And or you can shape morale, you can shape trust, you can
Yes.
shape
Yes.
communication, innovation, and problem solving by managing up, by going back to that leader and saying, tell me what I'm missing here. And that onus is on you. Or you can choose blindness, apathy, and you can do nothing and you can complain about it. So
And
you
I
have the
say,
power.
Right. You have the power, and middle managers have the power. And we revoke permission for them to do nothing. We revoke permission to be the people that collect grievances, like let bad behavior continue. Because Gallup said, look, middle managers influence 70% of employee engagement. So if you have staffing issues, retention issues, and you're a middle manager, you better look at yourself because you
Mm.
are the person who's 70% responsible for employee engagement. And then, as a leader of a middle manager, a supervisor, a manager, an executive of middle managers, you have some definite responsibilities to amplify their voice, give them meaningful work, set clear expectations, to give them real time feedback, to give them opportunities to contribute, and to demand that they take initiative if they don't know or they need to seek greater understanding around something. That's basically where the big deal kind of rests with this.
So I cannot even add anything more articulate to that. And I think that is the closing reflection right there. I think what you're trying to say is you have agency. If you are in the middle of your organization, that is not just a layer of a hierarchy. You are the engine room. And so if you ignore it, nothing moves. But if you empower yourself and others, then
Yep.
everything changes.
Yep.
So what we are giving you is permission. We are giving you agency. And by reminding you that the most powerful leadership role in any organization is maybe the one no one is paying attention to.
Right on. Land the
All
plane.
right. Let's land the plane right there. Hollow bunnies, thank you for joining us. Actually, they're not hollow. Our listeners are not hollow bunnies. They are filled with substance. They are filled with caramel and marshmallow fluff.
Ooh.
And maybe even some Reese's peanut butter cups, because that's what sounds really good to me right now. They're filled with so many things, and maybe some Swedish fish. I don't know.
Did you eat that bunny that I gave you when we saw each other?
After you left, I bit the head, and I didn't want to eat the whole thing because I'm trying to practice some restraint. But
Okay.
yes, yes, it was delicious, as all chocolate bunnies are. I mean, never met a bad one, right? A little waxy, but
You went with the head instead of the butt. This is curious to me. Future episode.
I did. I honestly, because there is a clear line of demarcation from the head. And so that's how I stopped myself, because if I would have bit the butt, now I've got the whole body to contend with, where I just ate like the head. And so then I can stop right at the neck. Feel me?
Oh, I feel you strong, sister.
Okay.
I'm impressed.
Hey, everybody. Ted Madden produces this podcast, and the song you're about to hear was written and performed for this podcast by my son, Jake, and his friends, Fabian and Zoe. If you like our podcast, please subscribe. Please like it. Please review it. Please tell everyone you know about it. You can follow us on all of the social medias. If you don't like our podcast, clearly you have no taste. Move on. There's nothing more to see here. Hey, everybody, keep filling your own bunnies, and please keep adding substance to others. Thanks, and bye.
When you look inside, what do you find? Are you content to fall behind? When you lose your way and you've lost your why, have courage and get ready to fight the hollow bunny. When the way ahead is covered in smoke and you're tired and you're scared and you're losing hope, you'll open your heart and your eyes to see a challenge and a question, why not me, to fight the hollow bunny. And we all feel hollow sometimes, but the monsters are only in your mind. It's a tough pill to swallow, but if you're brave and kind, you'll be alright. If you fight the hollow bunny. When the challenge ahead scares you to death, you tame the imposter inside instead. To change the world, you've got to start small. It takes a leader to say, I don't know it all, and I know I'm gonna fall, but I'll pick it up and come back stronger, failing forward, moving onward, doing the hard thing and the right thing, forever fighting the hollow bunny. And we all feel hollow sometimes, but the monsters are only in your mind. It's a tough pill to swallow, but if you're brave and kind, you'll be alright. If you fight the hollow bunny. If you're tough on the outside but empty within, something's gonna crack, you've gotta start again. And we you're tough on the outside but empty within, something's gonna crack, you've gotta start again. The monster